Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. A very chilly, windy day. I made it to Branson, Missouri as the recording of this Monday, December 6th, 2021. I have been here before. It has been a few years ago, back in 2018. I went to the Celebrity Car Museum, which is just down the road. I'm heading over there shortly. But I wanted to return. They have some new vehicles and also an area that is, I guess it's around the back, or at least in an area that is not open to the general public, that I am going to get to see. I'm inviting you to join me. I'm excited about some of the cars, trucks, and other things that I get to see with my own eyes. Join me, shall you? And as I'm making the commute over, passing the I Love Branson signage there while waiting at this light. You excited, Bigfoot? Yeah, you look like you're really excited. Flipping around there in the wind. I have parked here right next to the Hawkins Power and Light van. And it says on that signage, Celebrity Car Museum, turn here. Got an RV down by the road. And Branson really is a beehive of activity when it comes to construction, as well as other roadside attractions that are here now and will be here in the future. I'm only here for this one day, and then I gotta start heading southbound back down to Florida, but I will return. I do love this place, just like a sign on the visitor center on the way into town. Also, there's a coffee stand next to this. I'm gonna get some coffee first before heading in. It is just up this slight incline hill. It's called Hertz Donuts. Hertz Donut. There's a Band-Aid there. I would imagine they got coffee inside a donut place. It's chilly out here. Got it. Probably should have got one of those cardboard sleeves though. This thing is toasty. All right, and then just down the hill says Car Museum open. That's where I'm heading. I see Mater over here. The Ecto-1 Ghostbusters. Oh, holy cow, he startled me so much. Oh my gosh, they have like a voice, shakes, and then his voice, Larry the Cable Guy, just kind of barked at me. Now, last time I was here, I don't remember a big boy being here. By the way, this is Andy. He's going to be giving me the tour around. How long you worked here?
I've been here about 3.5 years now. 3.5
years. You said a lot's changed since I was here.
We change about 40 to 50% of the museum every year.
Okay.
It's a very fluid museum. We're constantly...
So last time I was here, you were just starting, but you were off that day.
Yeah, it was my day off, and I missed you the first time.
Now, was this used in the Rick Moranis movie?
This is from Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas.
When they're at the drive-in on their first date together.
Okay. Probably one of the, I go to a lot of car museums around the US, and you always see a Jurassic Park something. So this would be a recreation, or is this screen used?
This is a recreation.
A recreation. I noticed it's always Jurassic Park, Ecto-1, and the DeLoreans from Back to the Future. And a Knight Rider. This is a recreation.
They're in the movie, so that's kind of a rare thing to make
In
happen.
Fast and the Furious, both these cars can be seen on screen together.
In Part 6.
In Part 6. So these are screen used.
Yes, sir.
Fast.
The actual screen used cars use the film movie.
Fast and the Furious Part 6. I didn't make it that far in the series of the Fast and the Furious. I wanted to say trilogy, but it's more than a trilogy. How many are there now?
They're up to 9 now.
They're up to 9. And now these are more screen used from Breaking Bad?
These are both from Breaking Bad. That's the El Camino from El Camino.
That's the one?
That is the one.
That is the one that Jesse Pinkman drives?
Yep.
No kidding. How many did they make?
I think there were 3.
Wow. So did it have a top on it?
Yeah, in the movie they're taking the tag. He actually takes him out to help put the top on the car.
Now I've seen Breaking Bad, the series, more than one time. Some of the episodes I've seen like 5 or 6 times each. El Camino I only watched one time. That was the follow-up. And this is Mike's car?
This is Mike's car. This is the car that Walter White shoots Mike in.
Yeah, he met his...
You can go around the side later and you'll see.
Oh my God.
Blood splatter all inside the seat.
Holy cow.
There's a little bits of broken glass in there.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
The front's all smashed before he runs into a rock.
How do you acquire something like this?
The guy who owns this place is on the phone all day just buying and selling cars.
That is incredible. Now that's awesome. I love Breaking. I was just in Albuquerque. I did the locations of Breaking Bad. I did not go to the spot where Mike met his demise though. That was one of the ones that, there's like 100 locations for Breaking Bad. I went to like
I can imagine
12 or 13 of them, but. And this is, Stallone did this in First Blood?
Yeah, I think this has been very much rebuilt.
Okay.
But this is the bike that Stallone drove into First Blood.
Right through downtown, up in Canada, Hope, Canada.
This is one of my very favorite ones.
Brian Dennehy out there as the sheriff. Love that movie.
This one stops me and it's like, wow, this is real history.
That's when he's sitting on, he's like, get out of the way! Get out of the way! He's like going down the sidewalk. It's
exactly.
Like, Stallone, man, just go over 5 feet. You could be in the road and not running over people on the sidewalk.
This one, when I look at it, I instantly feel like I'm 5 years old again watching the movie.
I love it. It's all about nostalgia.
Exactly. That's what we do best here, because it hits you on the Hollywood side and the car side.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is right there. Knocking the guy off. And then, yeah, it's definitely been repainted.
Oh yeah, I imagine it was a frame up restoration on this one.
And the window, of course, busted out as well. And there's lots of glass left down in the floorboard here. Look at all this glass down in the floorboard from where the window was shattered. Man, that is so cool. Even in the seat, see some of the splatter there against the seat.
It's even up on the window.
Wow, yeah, that is awesome. Pretty incredible. So Vernon Wells was on this, also in Commando.
Yes, sir.
He played Bennett. That's right, Bennett. Come on, come on.
Blow off some steam.
You blow off. Yes. Man, so Vernon Wells sat on this.
Yeah, it blows me away.
It's very difficult to be a road warrior when you're holding a coffee going down there. I'm looking for Mel Gibson. Now this is a very interesting piece here. It is a 007. It has a little bit of everyone on there. Got Diamonds Are Forever, Thunderball. You got Connery down there on the thigh. Yeah. And do I see the Mutz Cuts car? Do I see the Shaggin' Wagon over there?
Now, do you know that you've actually been in that car before?
I remember at a
in New Orleans at a Comic-Con.
At a convention.
Yeah.
This is the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
That was back like 5 or 6 years ago.
Many years ago, yeah, it's 5 or 6 years ago.
Now, is this screen used?
Yes, sir.
This is the one they drive in.
I believe there were 6 of them, and this is 3 of 6.
There were 6 cars from Dumb and Dumber.
As is my understanding.
So this is one of the 6. There's really no way of telling. Got Hannah Montana here, obscuring the view of the inside. Yeah, I've sat in this at the Comic-Con. They had a booth set up where you could sit in the Mutz Cuts
We
car.
take a lot of cars to car shows and Comic-Cons in the off season.
And this has got to be one of the more popular ones, I would imagine.
Everyone loves this one.
Just like Jeff Daniels said. What did he say? Girls love it, chicks love it.
Yeah, chicks dig it.
Chicks dig it. Look at this thing. How do you not love this? Footlog. Who got the footlog? All right, he's gonna let me peek inside here once again, just to kind of see how the inside is right over here with the interior. There's the steering wheel, got the Ford emblem there here on this van, and the speedometers and all that. Even look at the dashboard there as well. All right, some screen used cars here from Stranger Things. This is Billy's car right here. And then what's the one next to Billy's car?
That's the Todd Father from season 3.
Oh, okay, from season 3. So he said some productions will even use a dozen cars.
It can happen, yeah. The more the cars featured in the movie, and the more damage it gets. Every time it gets a new piece of damage, there's usually another car.
Okay, that makes sense. And a couple of vehicles here from Megaforce. Got the poster over there on the wall as well. Now getting over to Back to the Future 3. This was a screen-used motorcycle here. And as stated, you know, the DeLorean probably the most replicated of the movie cars, at least in the top 3 or 4 replicated movie cars. But never gets old looking at it. Even if they're not screen used, it's still pretty awesome to see one of these beauties.
This one was used for some things. Christopher Lloyd did some promotional stuff with it.
Okay.
He signed the inside of it.
Oh, did he?
And I think he's used it for some appearances.
Yeah.
So it has some history to it.
Okay, yeah. So this is the Thelma and Louise car. Obviously not the one that went off the cliff, because they drove it off the...
As the history goes, if they had to do it another time,
yeah,
this would have been the one to go.
They just did
I think the first time they did it, it didn't work, and the car just rolled down.
Yeah.
The second time, it flipped upside down. The third time, they got the shot.
So if it would have had to go the next time, this one would have been destroyed.
As is my understanding.
And it wouldn't be sitting here.
This car is from Ford versus Ferrari.
So I Am Legend Will Smith was on this one. What was this over here from?
This is from Ford versus Ferrari. It's one of the camera cars from when they had to do the Ford GT racing shows.
So they had the camera mounted on the back?
Yep.
Like right here against these little...
There's basically a movable steering wheel component that they can bolt onto these, and that's how you actually drive the car. So the Christian Bale was in there pretending to drive.
A little behind the scenes. Back outside now. I was showing these on the way in. So you're saying these were all screen used as well?
This is the tow truck from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, wow.
And it was in just about every single episode of the show. Every character, everybody, everything that ever happened, this car was around it.
Dumb and Dumber. Oh yeah, the short bus. Okay.
And then this is Philip Seymour Hoffman's car that he drove in Twister.
Oh, in Twister.
Yeah.
It's got the Muskogee State still on the side. Oh, it even has a little emblem down here, too, for Muskogee State. And the faculty parking sticker still on the front. Nice. Ooh, that wind is cold.
It's cold today.
And there's another RV down by the road. You're saying that was from Rob Zombie's 31.
Yeah. I'm real proud of that one.
That's pretty awesome. Did they film inside any of that at all? They did.
Quite a bit, actually.
Can we go in there?
Yeah, we can.
That would be cool.
I might have to go in and find the keys, but we can get you going.
And now over to the little facility that has some other items that are not on display at the museum. This is the Speed bus used in the movie Speed. Used to be at Planet Hollywood in Orlando. It was like kind of dangling from the roof. I think I ate there back in the day when this might have been on the roof. That is awesome. This is a Scooby-Doo van also, but which one was it?
This was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, directed by Kevin Smith, when they're doing their Scooby joke.
Got it up here on the lift.
On the front here, where Kevin and Jay signed the entire thing.
Yeah, Jay Muse and all of them, huh? Oh yeah, they sure did.
The thing that I liked about this is that it's a really nice running, driving van, and it's all like intentionally distressed. All of the rust is painted on, you know, because if you look underneath, it's really clean. And then it's like this. The funny thing was, when the movie wrapped, this car sat in Kevin Smith's mother-in-law's driveway. And like, she was really mad. She wanted it to go away. And I didn't know any of this, but I ran into Kevin Smith at a show in Kansas City, and he came down. He was like, "Oh gosh," he goes, "I remember this." He's like,
"It just sat in a driveway?"
Yeah, he's like, "After we filmed the movie, it went over to my mother-in-law's driveway."
Oh, his mother-in-law. Okay.
And while it was there, you know, she just wanted it gone, and so he had Ming put it on eBay, and they sold it to a guy in Canada. That guy bought it. I bought it from him. All the paperwork got lost in the shuffle, like selling it to me. And then, so when I ran into him and Ming and all of them down in Kansas City, I was like, "Hey, can you go get me a title?" And Ming's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll get that taken care of for you." But Kevin was like, "Oh," he goes, "This thing was the bane of my existence for a while there." He goes, because it was like every conversation.
Yeah.
The process car from Iron Man 2 that Robert Downey Jr. drove when he was driving the Stark race car. So, you know, he kind of pulled his driver out and jumped in there because he's kind of showing off. So this is the process car to do all the close-up filming of Robert Downey Jr. sitting in the seat. And then over there is the one that's cut in half that what was the guy's name?
Mickey Rourke, Bullwhip.
Bullwhip sliced it in half.
Okay, so that's the other portion of
Yeah,
it.
and you can make your way back there if you want to take a...
Going underneath the lift here.
Generally, this is generally number 13 from the 2005 movie.
The Johnny Knoxville movie?
The Johnny Knoxville movie. Now, you can see it's a little duller, and the numbers are painted on the side, and that's because this is the pre-Cooter car. In the beginning of the film, this is how the car appeared, and then later on, it appeared like that. And so this car was actually both cars. It was that shiny, nice, the General Lee that you know,
yeah,
and then it was this pre-Cooter in the beginning of the film. And one thing that's interesting about this is the only General Lee that I know of that never had a flag on the rear.
Oh yeah.
Because it's an RDV car. It was a remote drive vehicle.
Oh, okay. So not just a camera up. Oh, I thought there was a camera up there, but it's a person up there.
Yep.
That's the same thing that would have been bolted onto the back of the Ford versus Ferrari you were looking at.
that you were showing earlier.
That's a mobile thing. They can just take that little cockpit and move it around.
Wow. Okay, now that's the Tommy Boy car.
That is correct.
Up top there.
That is correct.
Now I see it.
And we're going to pull these cars out and lower it down so you can climb through it and check it out.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
This car was ordered.
The truck?
Yeah, this truck was ordered in August of 1980, and in Idaho, and then it was delivered in November of 1980. Steve McQueen, what we believe happened is that Steve McQueen ordered this truck, and then his son Chad took delivery. Chad was the first owner of the truck, and he owned it for many years. What's interesting to me about this truck, other than the fact that Chad McQueen owned it, was the fact that it's the same kind of colors. It's the green out here, it's the green interior, it's the 4-speed manual, it's the 302 engine. It just kind of, it has that bullet feel to it, even though it's a truck, you know?
Yeah.
And so every time I watch Karate Kid, you know, and I see Chad McQueen, I'm thinking, oh, I've got his truck.
I'm so forgetful. Who was he in Karate Kid?
He's one of the Cobra Kai guys, one of the main ones.
So is he one of the ones that came back when they were all got back together and like went out drinking on Cobra Kai?
I'm not positive.
I have to research that because that's something I don't remember.
You see the paint where it kind of, you got the blue underneath there.
Because originally it was
orange.
blue.
Yeah.
The car was originally blue in Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And there was another one where they destroyed it, right? A couple different ones.
Yeah, well, the one that they actually destroyed was actually, I believe it was a Buick Skylark convertible, and they put deer feed.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one with the deer tore up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not the same car. They faked it to look like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe it was a Buick Skylark. I'm not positive, but they said that they waited there like all day. They put deer feed all over it just to try to attract a deer.
Do you want to talk about how you figured out that this was the car?
It might be difficult with him.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I was originally offered 2 Tommy Boy cars. There were 2 of them sitting next to each other at a lot out in Los Angeles, and at the time I wasn't really feeling it. And by the time I eventually got out there and was able to put my eyes on the cars, one of them was already gone.
So there was 2 of them?
There were 2. When I came out to Los Angeles to look at the cars, there had originally been 2 cars. And then when I got out there, it was narrowed down. There was only one left. One had sold. And I asked about the one that had sold, and they said, you know, it looked like it was from Tommy Boy, but that they didn't have the records from it. And they said it didn't have a title, it didn't have anything. And so I was like, well, how about this one? And they said, you know, once again, we have no clue what it's from. It was used in many different productions, but we're just not sure. And so I wound up buying the car, And then I asked if they had a title, and they said, yeah, I think we got a title. And so they went and they got in the file, and they handed me the title, and I was like, oh, sweet. It's got a production company title in here. It was a Canadian production company. So I was like, well, that's one thing. And so then I started doing research on my phone, and I found out that the name on the title was the shooting title of the movie Tommy Boy. It was Billy the Third production.
Billy the Third, which is what Tommy Boy is going to be called.
Yeah, and it was something about Billy Madison and the same time frame. There were just too many Billy films, and they didn't want to get them confused.
I think Tommy Boy's a better name.
I totally agree.
So you have the paperwork that states that it was for Billy the Third production company.
Correct.
Which is Tommy Boy. And what's the hearse is from Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yes, this is the Dumb and Dumber 2 screen used hearse. This is the one that they drive throughout the beginning of the film. We've got some great photos of the guys in the car. It's kind of neat. It's very distinctive. A lot of commercial chassis people who are big collectors of hearse themselves have lamented at this back window and how like janky it is. Like, this is not supposed to be here. It's not the way it's supposed to be. So it's very easy to see it in the movie.
I've only seen Dumb and Dumber 2 one time.
Same here.
I've seen the first Dumb and Dumber 800 times.
800 times, exactly.
I like Dumb and Dumber 2, but I didn't love Dumb and Dumber 2.
No, I get it. I get it for sure.
But I do like Dumb and Dumber 2 better than Dumb and Dumberer.
I've gained more respect for the Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's because in the first place, those guys have gone on to do other things.
True.
But I really like Dumb and Dumber.
I'll have to give it another try.
You give it another try. The other thing is we have the short bus from that Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so, I mean, I love when they run in and they go to run to the back and they just hit the back instantly.
So it holds a special place in your heart because you have the movie vehicle.
Absolutely.
That bus was also in You, Me, and Dupree.
Yep.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, very briefly.
And you were saying that the Time Boy car was also used in Joe Dirt.
I think so, and I know it was in a Children of the Corn movie, and it was in like Criminal Minds, CSI, Murder by Numbers, I think it was called.
So do two David Spade movies use this car? Except it was blue in Tommy Boy, right?
Yep. And orange in Joe Dirt.
So you can see the 3 different colors there.
Yep.
Wow.
Are we going all the way out? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is. Do you want to drive it to the gas station?
It needs fuel?
Yeah, it needs to be driven. Here's Sam Elliott's 1970 Ford from the ranch.
Okay, yeah,
Ranch.
nice.
And you can see it's all intentionally distressed. All of this rust is painted on. All of this is painted on.
Love Sam Elliott. That's great.
They even rusted the aluminum wheels. This one here is kind of neat.
Is this a Caprice Classic?
This is a Caprice. This is from Lethal Weapon 3. This was Murtaugh's car.
Okay. Yeah, my parents used to have a Caprice Classic back in the day, so I recognize that car.
Absolutely. This is Gomez from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
This is the clean version.
This is when they're out in the desert and Hank and him hit their demise.
Yeah. Now, one thing you'll notice about this is that the seat here is not original in there because they swap seats from one car to the next.
So not original seat.
Yeah, the actual seat is not original. The vehicle is.
This is incredible, man.
And then we'll open the back here. You can see that's what the original interior was.
Yeah.
And you'll also notice that when they film stuff, they always take the headrests off. That way they can get good clean angles.
Sure.
And, you know, nothing's obstructing. Here's from Twister. It was Joey's car in Twister, and you'll see that in most of the scenes in the movie. It's one of you know, the kind of like the vehicle entourage.
Screeniest.
Screeniest. Yep.
So what would stop you from taking this and putting it in front of the museum? Just needs a little bit more work before you take it over there, or just the space?
Yeah,
aspect?
I mean, it's like I don't want to take it there with smashed windows to where people would get hurt. I'd have to put door locks in because the locks, I don't have keys for them. This one doesn't have an engine. This is like one that would be in the process of getting over to the museum. But as it is, you know, we don't want to put things over there with, you know, flat
all
tires and,
right.
you know, all the different things like this. You could climb into the back of it, and we'd have to figure out ways to.
Somebody be squatting in there.
Yeah,
sleeping in the back of the parking lot.
Yeah, so we kind of baby-proof them, you know. This right here is a Pinto that was built by George Barris. It was like one of his customs back in the 70s. It was for some actor, and it's got a 289 in it. It's got all the Shelby stuff on it. This is from this van is from Cable Guy. And this
No way!
Yeah, this was the Matthew Broderick, Jim Carrey.
That's where Jim Carrey drove a
Yeah.
Cable Guy?
Yeah.
What?
And look, you can look at the top where
What the heck?
where they cut the roof off to do filming, and then
Holy
they just laid
cow.
it back on there.
I didn't even know you had this. If I did, I forgot.
This
I totally forgot that you
this
guys.
was sitting at Planet Hollywood for the longest time
This is the
down in
Cable
Orlando.
Guy?
Yeah.
Wow. I just got really excited about this. Holy cow. Look at that. What happened to the windshield? Just something busted it out
You
again.
know, I think it got busted out while it was in storage down in Florida, because that's how I got it.
In Florida. Oh yeah, from Planet Hollywood. They didn't have this in Planet Hollywood, did they?
No, it was sitting in their storage.
They just owned it.
It might have been in one of their places at one time, but you know, they just had it in their storage.
This is wild, man.
You can still see the production numbers on here. Kind of neat.
That is. So Jim Carrey drove this. Is it open?
Sure. If it will.
Wow. So you got the Dumb and Dumber shaggin' wagon. You got the Cable Guy van. I think Cable Guy is one of the most underrated Jim Carrey movies. Genius. It's one of his personal favorites too, if you ever hear him talk about interviews.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
It just doesn't get the love a lot of the other Jim Carrey movies gets.
Because it was the first movie he ever made that was kind of serious.
Yeah. Ben Stiller directed that too.
Did he really?
Ben Stiller directed Cable Guy, yeah.
I like anything with Matthew Broderick in it.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's Godzilla or, you know, or the obvious.
You were the one that liked the Broderick Godzilla?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Camper here has an interesting story. That was bought new by Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
And Frank Sinatra, back then, all of those guys, the actors and so forth in the early 70s, they all thought, hey, you know, we're just going to go camping. You know, we're gonna bring this to the set so that we can have a little more comfort. And I think he just, you know, when you start maintaining an RV, it becomes a lot.
I know all too well.
You would know all too well.
Yeah, it becomes a lot.
I had an RV for a year, and I was like, that was fun. Now, when I was here back in 2018, was this out in front of the museum?
It was.
I think I remember showing that.
The RV is now.
Yep, I do remember seeing that one. But you never had the Cable Guy van out there.
No.
You caught me by surprise on that one. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, this one, when Frank Sinatra did finally get rid of it, he sold it to one of John Wayne's guys, one of the guys on John Wayne's crew, and he took it. His son actually lived in Alaska in that, and then this was used in a movie called American Folk. It was about people who are trying to travel from Los Angeles to New York on 9/11, and they couldn't, so they piled in this van and they traveled cross country.
So Frank Sinatra slept in the back of this.
Yeah.
And they just blow your mind.
It's just craziness.
It's the old prospector. What if a deer popped out of that thing right now?
I wouldn't either.
It startled us all.
I almost expect it.
That's about the coolest thing ever right there. Isn't there a scene where the hood is up and Farley's like, I used 10W40 or something like that? Maybe not getting the oil right, but it was the...
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many great scenes from that movie.
Sometimes you ever just stare at some of the vehicles you own and think, what the heck, I own this?
I know, it's just crazy. I look at the vehicles and I kind of go through this methodical thing in my head, and I'm like, oh, I remember these in the movie, because like I remember back in the day before I knew that they were turn signal indicators, I thought they were deer whistles that they just put on there. You know what I mean?
Deer whistle. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know this thing, and so I would look at it and I would be like, why'd they put those on that car? And then I'm like, then you start learning more about cars, and you start seeing that these things, there's a lot of things that are stock on these cars and some things that just aren't.
So you think when they did that scene with the hood up, do you think it was this car?
You know, it's hard to say, because what they do a lot of times with the movies, especially if they're rotating between 2 or 3 cars, is, and I know that there was at least 2 cars that were used like this, and then there was one car that they had the deer jumping all around.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what they'll do is a car will sustain damage, and then they'll take the other car and start using it while they modify the next car for the next scene.
That makes
so
sense.
It's like if they lose the door off of this car, and then they, you know, in the next scene you see the little doggy gate across the thing. So they probably, you know, unwrenched the door, took it off, and then put a doggy gate on, while the other car was filming scenes with the door on it.
So just cycling them out just so they could keep production going.
Exactly.
What is it that slides across the dash when Spade's like, that really boosts up the resale value or something like that? It's been a while since I've seen Tommy Boy. I love it, but it's been a few years.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Okay.
What did he say?
He's like, they got a thin candy shell. I think you're gonna be okay.
That's what it is, yeah.
It's a big giant bag of M&Ms.
Now I think, is it Black Sheep or is it Tommy Boy where he's like, Roads.
That's Black Sheep, right?
That's Black Sheep.
That's Black Sheep.
When the nitrous tank leaks.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast you were going? Well, I think I can get this thing up to like 90, 100? 7
miles.
7 miles an hour.
I didn't even remember what kind of car it was in Black Sheep. Is it a police car?
And they're on the median. And usually when I pull someone over, they pull on the side of the road. They're in the median. Wow, that's crazy. So where would the oil go? Because didn't they have like the oil can?
Oh yeah. I think they had it like in
Usually
here.
I take the oil can out, you no-selling waste of space. I swear to God, you're worthless.
I love that.
I'm paraphrasing the whole movie because I can't quote
I
it.
think you were pretty close.
Yeah, I think this, probably one of my favorites. This, the Cable Guy van. Oh wait, there's one other one you said you had that I haven't seen yet. Falling Down.
Oh yeah, got Falling Down out there too. Yeah.
Did you show it to me?
No.
I'll show it to you whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's go back and look at the Falling Down car.
Oh, I want to also show you under here.
Some more orange paint?
Yeah.
Oh, like right there on the handle.
Oh, and we have another Jim Carrey car.
And look right there. You can tell that this was the number 2 car because it's got a 2 in there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow. Look at that. There's the dash. Incredible. That is so neat, man. That is so neat.
And one, here we got more blue paint, more of that.
So blue paint was Tommy Boy.
Orange paint was
The other Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt, yeah. So Spade was in this car twice at 2 different movies.
correct. At the place that rented it out.
Okay.
Here's more blue paint. Oh, this is really good right in there.
Yeah. Man, look at, can't get over this. This is where they were singing the song together.
Exactly.
They were driving down the road. The song is lame.
The Carpenters?
Now I'm getting Black Sheep and Tommy Boy confused. That was Tommy Boy, right?
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy was the Carpenters.
Tommy Boy when they're singing the Carpenters.
Right. So this isn't the same hood that the top portion that the deer busted out of, but it's similar, right?
Well, I think that this was probably a stage of the busting out. You can see the back windows blown out. But
Yeah.
I think all of the really crazy damage occurred to the Buick Skylark convertible or whatever it is.
They used a totally different car.
Yeah, used a totally. It wasn't even this model.
Falling down. Just picture him, Michael Douglas, being stuck in traffic in this. Obviously not the same license plate. It doesn't say defense anymore. Yeah, those Southern California freeways can really stress you out. I know all too well. Whole beginning of the movie, he's just sitting there. And then they kind of pan around to everyone else in traffic, who's also stressed that traffic's not moving. It's a complete standstill. And then he gets out of the car and just walks away. He just wanted to go home. I just want to go home.
Exactly. Just trying to go home.
Now, was it the same color? I'm having a hard time remembering if it's the same color.
I think it was like
brown.
Doo-doo brown of some kind.
It wasn't used too much, and then Duvall shows up and him and the other officer push it off to the side so the traffic can get by. Is it unlocked?
Sure. Maybe not.
Oh, there it is. This is something else.
And this thing was probably rented to another
production.
50 productions over the years. I don't know if it was originally this gold color or this copper color, or if it was the brown, but I think it was brown.
It was a real dark color.
Man, that is so cool. I've said this 1,000 times in this video about how cool everything is, and how awesome and neat, but I can't think of other adjectives to use for how incredible some of these things are. Michael Douglas right here. Defense himself. He just wanted to go home. I'm the bad guy? I'm the bad guy? Oh, so awesome. Yeah, if they sure reminded me about that, I would totally forgot. Yeah, you told me, and then I got excited about Tommy Boy and Cable Guy and all the other stuff. But yeah, Falling Down, classic LA film.
actually one of Michael Jackson's golf carts from Neverland.
From Neverland?
Yeah.
Would this have been the one he was driving Oprah around in, I wonder?
I don't know. It says WJR on it, and I've never been able to figure out what that
Because I think in that Oprah special, I think he was driving her around in a golf cart.
And this is like a Lincoln Continental golf cart, so it's got the Lincoln front end on it.
I mean, he probably had more than one.
Right. I wonder if this was the name of the old ranch, like it was before he named it. This one right here is real important. This car's been sitting in Tennessee 67 Cadillac limo. I believe it's a 60 series. This car was presented to Elvis when he came out in 67 to do the movies by MGM. MGM said, hey, here's your car, here's your driver, and for the next 3 years while you're doing movies, this will be your car. And Elvis took this car back to Tennessee. He drove it all around Hollywood. But the funny thing was when they dropped it off with the driver. And Elvis always had his own drivers, and so he was really cocky. He's like, I drive my own. And so there's actually pictures of him driving this car. But so this was his car. It only has like 13,000 original miles on it. For those 3 years, and when he was done with the car, he gave it back to MGM. And interesting note, then it was used in a movie called The Mechanic, and was driven around in
Charles Bronson movie.
Charles Bronson, yeah.
And from Airwolf, Jan Michael Vincent.
Jan Michael Vincent, yeah.
And I have to say, no spoilers, but probably one of the best endings of an action film in the 80s.
Yes.
It's a very sudden ending. The movie ends, credits roll. 2 seconds later. No spoilers, but you've seen the ending, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't want to give it away.
And then Jason Statham remade it, didn't he?
Did he? Oh, I
did, yes.
I never saw the remake.
They remade it, and then they made a sequel to the remake.
But Charles Bronson always wins in the end.
Always.
Always wins in the end.
Absolutely.
Even when he's not there.
Yeah.
I think I've said too much. But as soon as it ends, you don't even have time to think about it, and it's like, well, credits are rolling. Let's play the outro music. Credits are rolling. So what scene in The Mechanic was this used? This obviously wasn't the car at the end.
No, this was the car. I think he was picked up at the airport. Like he comes in on a private jet, and then isn't Jan Michael Vincent driving?
Yeah,
the car?
He's like he's picking him up.
He's the limo driver. Yeah.
He was like his protege.
Yeah.
Wow. So Elvis would have drove this too. Elvis and Jan Michael Vincent both drove this car. Actually, I closed that back. Were you going to show me something?
Oh, no.
Can I open the front?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. The king of rock and roll sat right there. Drove this car around. You know what I'm going to say as an appreciation for you letting me look in this?
What's that?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World Part 2, where they do the Thelma and Louise scene.
Okay, so Mike Myers would have been here, Dana Carvey right there. And what were the brackets for, you said?
That's where it was mounted on the wall in the Times Square Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood love putting cars from their roof. That's kind of their thing.
They did a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense from a space point of view. This is a large item to just be kind of dangling from a roof, though. So I guess like the angle would have been about like that as they're about to go over the cliff.
Yeah, I think in the movie they show it from the back.
Oh, from the back? From the back?
Like, I think they hold hands.
Oh, they have the wigs. Yeah, that's right. The wigs. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's this angle here. Yeah, about like that.
Not about like that.
Now, if you look right here, now this is kind of cool.
An Elvis tie-in?
Elvis's Hound Dog boat.
This is his boat.
This is a Chris Craft. This boat, my father actually bought this when he had the Elvis Presley museums. He bought this and he picked it up at the Circle G Ranch. down in Walls, Mississippi, I believe. And it was in terrible shape. The engine was all, and it sat in my backyard when I was a teenager. This thing was in the backyard forever. And then my father sold it to the Guinness Book of World Records Museum in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And they did a cosmetic restoration of it and then put it in the museum. It was down there in that museum for, I don't know, 25 years. And then I wound up getting it from them.
No kidding. There's a surfing hound dog right there. He's on a surfboard, is he not?
That is correct. I just think it's brilliant. The art itself is probably worth more than the boat.
Yeah. Have you ever taken it out on the lake?
No, it doesn't have an engine anymore. It just got a cosmetic restoration. Now, you know, we were talking about Jim Carrey cars, right?
Yes.
Now, do you know that you're looking at the Loner right now?
This one right here?
Yes.
That was in a Jim Carrey movie?
Do you remember?
Is that the one from The Mask?
Yes. And if you look at it, you can see where there's springs on all of the parts that he kicked off on the bridge. It was set to be torn to pieces.
On the bridge part.
On the bridge part. And if you look closely at all of the pieces, there are like little springs, like over here and on this back fender, where when you kick it, they would like...
Oh, yeah. Let me go around.
So this was kind of like the gag car. This wasn't the one that he drove around. This was the one that was set to fall apart.
Oh yeah, there's the springs.
There's a spring where and that would come off, and then here's the door. There's the springs where that would come off.
Yeah. So this is the bridge scene. So if you watch the bridge scene, you would see this car.
Yep.
And a fun fact about the car, when he took it to the mechanic, it's the same place from Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters firehouse in LA. The interiors. Of course, the exteriors of the Ghostbusters firehouse are in New York. Definitely you'll notice it's the same interiors as the Ghostbusters firehouse.
That's awesome.
When he goes in there, goes to the mechanics, and they try to rip him off, and then he kind of has his way with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
I never
LA.
knew that.
Yeah. So if you just go watch that scene, you'll notice, hey, this is the Ghostbusters firehouse.
I'm going to look it up today.
Yeah. And obviously, that's just the interiors. The exteriors from Ghostbusters are in New York, but
This right here is Winona Ryder's Pinto from Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's the other Stranger Things.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah. This was screen used, and I think all of the seasons.
I guarantee you when season 4 comes out, she's just going to have a new car. It's going to involve her getting a new car.
What do people get most excited about when they go to the museum? Obviously, Stranger Things probably, but probably Fast and Furious.
Actually, Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Fast and Furious, Stranger Things,
Probably DeLorean after that.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Batman.
Yeah, yeah. But really, it's like people really there's a whole cult following to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
and
Supernatural.
God.
Supernatural fans are the biggest fans of something I've ever met.
Like they will drive.
Yeah.
They will drive all the way across the country to touch something that Sam and Dean had anything.
People
to do
have
with.
call me and asked because they plan their
Can I op-
vacations
can I
around
open this?
coming to see it.
They plan their vacations around
coming to see
Supernatural.
Supernatural cars.
Winona sat right here. I don't know, this stuff just fascinates me. Obviously it fascinates you too, that's why you own this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Now there's one other piece in here that's kind of famous, and this one is more famous. Like I don't know if it's more famous because of Austin Powers Goldmember,
Yeah.
or because of Boogie, but
Oh yeah.
This is the one that he licked that caused all the
that
trouble.
caused all the controversy.
Oh, Boogie was here, he licked it?
Yeah, he licked it.
Oh wow, this is so flimsy. It seems like I'm speeding, but really I'm sitting still. And I teased this a little earlier, and it's gonna happen, going inside of the RV from 31, Rob Zombie's 31.
Must have been Queen fans.
Yeah.
I'm always like, the show must goon.
The show must goon. You know, now I'm seeing this. Back when I was here in 18, it was up there on this, it was up there next to the building.
Yeah.
It was up there. Now you put it here by the road. We go in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, they've unlocked it.
There wasn't anybody in it.
It feels so good in here, out of the elements. It's like
Right,
not
yeah.
cold. Because it's chilly outside. It feels really good in here, nice and warm.
And it's still got all of the prop stuff that was in.
Yeah, it's all still set dressed. Oh, I hit my head.
All right.
The disadvantages of being tall.
Oh, that looks safe.
Oh, at least I didn't hit my head on those.
Right. You might need a tetanus shot.
Awesome. I have to go back and rewatch that movie.
I'm just happy we don't have any squatters in.
And that's going to do it for today. From the Celebrity Car Museum, Branson, Missouri. Special thanks to those gentlemen for showing me around some of the stuff that is not in the museum at the moment, being fixed up, and will eventually at some point make it onto the show floor, a little behind the scenes. Definitely thankful to be seeing some of those items. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over. Traffic's horrible. Just want to go home. Just trying to get home.